Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the High School Star League 2017 playoffs. We're here with one of our round of 16 matches, Lexington High School versus Heritage High School. I'm Crusader Kid in here with Underl, bringing you the action for today's match.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting matchup, of course. It is a best of three, and all these teams want to move on, get closer to that money. I was in their shoes once. I know how it feels, and it all starts with getting the ball rolling early on in game one.
Wow, classic Ender L, plugging the fact that he's an HSL alumni. How far did you get in the HSL, Ender?
I made it into the round of 4.
Ooh.
Yeah, until our AD carry, took a vacation to Korea, and then we ended up in 4th place.
Classic. Well, right now here, these two teams looking to make their way into the top 4. It's Lexington versus Heritage High School. Both of these teams, right now, round of 16 is where they're at, trying to make it into those quarterfinals, and it's looking like an exciting bracket, I'd say, for this High School Star League season. We are on replays, so this is on the previous patch, not on the live patch currently, because these are replays that we're casting. Yep.
Go get your Slurpees. It'll all be good. I've got mine sitting next to me right here because I'm still living in the past. We also have some fun compositions because, of course, it is replay. We don't actually get to look into champ select. It is sort of fun to, sort of guess when these champions were picked because, of course, we do not know where it came through. But both compositions feel almost similar to me. You've got strong split pushers. Both teams can go into a 1-3-1, putting their mid laners in the side lanes. And there's a lot of ability from both teams to force plays, whether it's, the Sejuani ultimate or the Weaver's Wall or even an Ash arrow coming through from Heritage. When these teams want to fight, it'll be very easy for them to pull the trigger and go for something.
Yeah, so just taking a look at things in this game number 1, we don't exactly know what the picks and bans were at. We don't exactly know the bans for this game. We do know, of course, the picks here, and seeing the Sazaya and Rakan come through, the duo actually gets through for Lexington High School. And as people know, you see one picked in solo queue, you immediately ban or pick the other.
Yeah, it's almost funny to see both of them on a blue side team because if you're saying you got to pair them up with one another, you'd figure a red side team, Heritage, in this situation would be able to grab those for themselves. But even with Zion and Rakan being very strong in tandem with one another, you still have picks like the Ashe that people still value incredibly highly, and the Thresh too has really been rising in popularity, not only in solo queue in the amateur scene, but the pro scene as well in some major regions. Woo.
Whoa.
Nice little stool with the camera right there.
Yeah, so sitting here at the 3-minute mark, 0-0 the score. Both of these teams 2-0 their entire way through the bracket coming up to this match. So, both of these teams looking good in so far, but we'll be seeing because only one team can make it through this. It's single elimination, best of 3 brackets. So only one team can make it through to the quarterfinals. Things are getting set up on both of the sides here. We're seeing the Zed come through top lane. Kennen versus Shen, the ninja matchup, and Kennen winning that one out extremely well here. Almost double the CS to start things off.
Yeah, that is painful for Mariello up here. He went with the Doran shield, very defensive start that still has yet to be nerfed, but with all those stuns, with all the auto attack harass, Baby King Kong has been able to just shove him under the tower, do very good things to him, and because Biu, the jungler for Heritage, did the complete red side clear of his jungle, now he's on the bottom half of the map. He can't even look for an early gank up in the top side, so Into the Dusk will be able to secure the Scuttle Crab for Baby King Kong up here, maybe even get some deep vision inside of Heritage's jungle so that King Kong can continue to play super aggressive up in the top lane.
Baby King Kong, probably one of the more fitting names for a Kennen. Maybe for a Gnar it'd be better.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe like a Wu Kong, even though it's not really a baby.
Just because it's the monkey. Well, middle lane might be seeing a gank coming out here from the jungler. Pew. Forces out the flash there from Tay.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure if Tay necessarily needed to flash right there. Yes, it's the safe option, but Into the Dusk was actually right above him. They maybe could have had the opportunity to turn that around, but a 2 versus 2 with a Sejuani fighting early on probably doesn't sound all too great.
Well, Into the Dust gonna find Pew inside his own jungle and decide to lay down some damage onto him. Not gonna commit to that one though, just forces him away from the Raptors.
Yeah, you can't stick around and fight when your mid laner recalled just a second ago. And, you know, we were talking about how the top lane CS is going fantastically well for Lexington. Mid lane, though, Tay is down about 10 already. And yes, the Zed should have a decent matchup up against the Talia, especially once we do reach level 6. And now Jast has even more added kill threat, knowing that Tay will not have a flash. But in the early laning phase, I would have expected Tay to be able to shove in Jast and at the very least, bare minimum, stay even in CS there.
Yep, so as you say, the Zed pick coming in here, not a champion we see too often now. It kind of feels like a few patches ago seeing a Zed and a Kha'Zix here, but top lane, Murillo taking that damage from Baby King Kong.
That's tough, and King Kong's not going to slow down anytime soon. He has the Cull too, which is such a free item to start when you're in a really easy lane as Kennen. Instead of going for Doran's shield or Doran's blade, if you're in a more aggressive lane, going the Cull gives you a little bit of extra scaling. You're going to get 180 extra gold once you do end up selling that one after the cash in. And if he's able to maintain a CS lead, why not go with this item if it's going to give you more gold in the long run and still allow you to pull it?
So nothing too far in terms of jungle action in game 1. Into the Dusk has just been farming it up. He's hit level 6 though, which means he has that glacial prison, which makes his ganks so much more effective. And here it is, into the middle lane, gonna force out Jess with his own ultimate, but he's gonna get stunned up and slowed down as well here. Jazz trying to get under his own turret, will be able to, and will be able to survive that gank as well, just having to use his flash.
I like that Into the Dusk went for the gank right there in the mid lane, but I think there was a little bit of miscommunication because the second the ultimate landed from Into the Dusk, Tay dropped down the exhaust. And, you know, exhaust no longer reduces your armor and magic resistance. It doesn't do anything like that. It's purely there for the damage reduction. If your target is slowed, there's not much damage that's going to be coming through there. So even though, yes, a flash was burnt, that should be a victory for Lexington. Now Tay doesn't have his flash or his exhaust, and once Jasp does get that death mark up and ready again, there is a lot of kill threat once more in mid lane.
Top lane trading up here once again, but maybe King Kong hasn't backed in mid, so Murillo actually has a bit of an advantage on that front of it. We are seeing maybe King Kong looking to back away. Once again, just dominating that lane in terms of CS right now. Bottom lane, we're seeing DJ Holiday coming out with a bit of an advantage here, as well as the bottom lane of Zaya and Rakan actually not doing too well in terms of CS at this point.
Yeah, it feels like Lexington is going to be relying pretty heavily on the split push from Baby King Kong later on to this game. And that's a little bit of a worry because Heritage have a lot of fantastic ways to force plays. They don't even necessarily need Shen to go even or get an advantage up in the top lane, because now that he has his ultimate available, he can use that Stand United down in the bottom lane. It really, all it's going to take is for BU to go maybe get some deep vision in that bottom quadrant of the jungle to make sure that Into the Dusk can't show up to a fight in the bottom lane, because now Heritage know there's no teleport on Baby King Kong. If Jast can maintain control over this mid lane so that Tay can't get out of there with the Weaver's Wall, it's going to be a very easy setup to potentially look for a dive or just an all-in around that bottom lane to try and find a first blood or a first turret or just get Murillo out of this top lane.
Yeah, for sure. Having that global presence there. Tay has some of it as well, as you say, with the Weaver's Wall. And surprising to see, though, that we have seen very little action from Pew on this Kha'Zix, kind of known as that early game jungler. He does a huge amount of damage early on. And DJ Kano gonna run into Law here, ops the flame back. That'll be it there.
Yeah, pretty hard to lock down the Rakan. He's got a million dashes, goes really fast. Same can sort of be said for the Zaya too. Now that she has her ultimate, can get on out of there, go untargetable, and that's going to be probably the best tool for Lexington to dodge away from, you know, potential Ash Arrow or anything of the like. But Lexington won't be allowed to take any chances to say, oh, maybe I can soak up this hook or the Ash Arrow and then still live. They're going to have to play it very smart here, and if they don't have eyes on Jast or BU, they're going to need to use those defensive tools very early on.
Looks like Inferno Drake may be started up here by Heritage High School. That's the first Drake of the game as we're hitting the 10-minute mark here. And looks like this one may be uncontested for now, already down below half health, and actually the presence of some members of Lexington gonna force them to pull it out, and Law actually wants to jump in here. He is gonna go in, and Chano Cristolero comes through, gets the stun down, the flay onto 2, into the dust coming in, but that's first blood drawn, Heritage High School with it, and now they get the second, a double kill coming in for Jast. They want to keep moving in here, flash forced out by Into the Dusk, and that's gonna be a 2-for-0 in favor of Heritage.
Yeah, it looked a bit scary for Heritage off the bat because Kano had been chunked out. They were relatively low from starting up that dragon, but remember, Baby King Kong did not have the teleport. Yes, he's going to be able to maybe even get the turret up there in the top lane, but Heritage had the 5 versus 4, had to stand united, ready to try and turn around that team fight. And because Into the Dust was approaching the dragon pit from above it, and the rest of his team was underneath, there was no real tank. There was no one to soak up an Ash Arrow or a hook. So once all those abilities landed on Tay, it was very, very easy for Heritage to clean up that team fight.
So now Heritage jumping ahead with the 2-0 lead, and the Inferno Drake in there as well. Gonna be able to boost their damage, and kind of one of those highly contested dragons. So they're actually not the ahead in gold after those 2 kills, as the CS lead so far, I guess, from that top lane has been a bit insurmountable. Still maintaining Baby King Kong, basically twice the CS of his opponent here in the top lane.
Yeah, him, and also in the jungle, even though the CS numbers there can be a little bit misleading, it is a 2-level lead between the Sejuani and the Kha'Zix. So that top half of the map has been going very, very well for Lexington thus far, and I don't think that they need to be dissuaded. Yes, they lost the team fight, but if they want to start making plays, maybe they should start to make plays around this cannon, go to the source of the globals, and find their advantages there.
Yeah, and they're going to have to be careful around Jast here, though, who is 2-0 and 20 CS ahead of his own lane opponent. That's going to be looking scary here. I mean, it's that they have a double assassin comp here, so something they have to watch out for sure.
I love the Zed pick, honestly, because the biggest strength of the Talia is that she can have pretty much free reign over any lane, shove them in, and then roam and make plays in those side lanes.
Not anymore. Wow, Tay gonna get dove in on. The flash out by Jast, and he does come away with that kill. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Chano Cristolero, the hook is soaked up, but the double flay does come through. Charm as well. DJ Holiday taking the damage, and Proiskin does come out with it. Now DG Kano has to back away.
Very nicely done right there. Proiskin didn't even have the ultimate when that fight initially broke out right there. Just shows you the power of Xayah and Rakan. You can't fight into those 2 players because by the point you realize, oh wait, they're actually going to kill us, Xayah's rooted you, you've taken so much damage, and there is no way out of that one whatsoever. That's gonna alleviate a whole lot of the pressure that Lexington was facing, and also, you know, sort of remedy the fact that the Talia hasn't done much in this game. But the 2 versus 2 in the top lane too could get really, really scary for Heritage.
Yeah, both junglers hovering around here. Meanwhile, in that top lane, Baby King Kong taking down that first turret of the game, giving that over to Lexington. So they'll have that bit of a gold advantage as they get the first turret. In the top lane, not really too surprising to see that one come out, as Baby King Kong has just been dominating up in his top lane. We'll see if he decides to opt to roam around the map at this point now that he's taken down that first turret.
He is literally doubling Murillo's CS. Not only that, but he's also at a clip of 10 CS per minute, which is what everyone should be pretty much striving for. No one else even all that close in this game outside of perhaps Jast, and taking that top lane turret so early on is really important, sort of even after the new Rift Herald came through, because now that gives you a lot of control to maybe go for the Rift Herald or even just path immediately down into the bottom lane, because Murillo can't necessarily react to that, and if they can pull the Shen down, he's going to lose even more CS, and if he does an ultimate, then his team's going to lose out big time.
Bottom lane, Baby King Kong snuck his way into the brush here, into the dusk. on the side river as well, and they're currently pushing this one in, so they may just go for a 5-man push here as everybody's responding to this. Weaver's wall coming through to try to cut them off, ends up coming out here. DG Kano forced to flash over. Baby King Kong stuck by the Weaver's wall. The pew does go down on the side. Coming in is Jast, but he's getting focused out here, shut down by Baby King Kong. The trades continue to come in here though, and it's a double kill coming out from Mariello, and they keep going in. Proiskin going down, finished off by DJ Holiday. 4 members down already for Lexington High School, now chasing after Into the Dust. Can they catch up? DG Kano coming up, but the death sentence goes wide into the dusk, able to escape with a 4-for-2 in favor of Heritage.
Yeah, just a huge mistake from Lexington to fight behind the outer turret right there. Look how low it is on your minimap. That's down to 20%, and Lexington had forced Heritage away. Heritage were going to back up. The Weaver's Wall was excellent as a zoning tool, but then it also zoned Lexington off that fight. The slicing maelstrom from Baby King Kong did nothing because he was limited from going over that wall, and Lexington could have very easily just said, we're gonna drop the wall, we're gonna take this turret, and then back away, take the advantage. But as it stands, they're now dead even in goal with Heritage.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if Lexington realized Heritage was already down there. Justin, we were already hovering around the area, and of course Mariello, being the Shen, had the stand united, was able to respond quickly there as well. So things quickly turned around there onto Lexington, who were looking for that dive.
And it takes away a lot of the threat from this Ken. And again, Murillo was able to catch up a little bit, and CS still down a whole lot. But Lexington are going to have to now decide what they want to do with that advantage up in the top lane. Clearly going down in the bottom lane did not work for them. Now, because Baby King Kong walked bottom lane rather than teleporting, he will have TP up and ready for the dragon that's going to be spawning in 20 seconds. And maybe that could be a window for Lexington, because the stand united will still not be up for Murillo.
Yeah, well, hovering inside the jungle are members of Heritage High School. Jast may be forced to back away, so will Pew, as people amp up here around the bottom half of the map. Heritage came away with that first dragon, that first Infernal Drake. Could there be a Mountain Drake this time, where we're seeing both teams hover around the area, grappling for vision control here?
Yeah, now key difference between this dragon and the last dragon is that there's a teleport up for Baby King Kong. He did not have that last time, and also the Stand United is down, so that is why Heritage are a lot more hesitant to start that one off, and Lexington are going to thrive with that sort of indecision coming through from Heritage, because it allows more time for Baby King Kong to get damage down on this top lane turret. And if Lexington know that all 4 members of Heritage are hovering around that dragon, Baby King Kong knows that he's not going to be in any position where he could be ganked by a roam from Jast or View.
He's continuing to get damage down to Mariello as well, who Mariello returning it right back with that Shadow Dash right under that turret. So trade's going a bit more even now, though that Mariello has 2 kills and 4 assists under his belt. Able to force actually the back by Baby King Kong, or maybe not.
Yeah, just simply farming for Baby King Kong, I don't think is going to give them too much of an advantage. I would have loved to see, Lexington take a Rift Herald, and then you can even pressure a top lane inhibitor town with how low that inner is at the moment. But Lexington are sort of playing into this idea that dragons are the most important thing in this game. And yes, they are important because, of course, mountains are going to increase the siege potential of a team like Lexington that wants to be, breaking up into a 1-3-1, but they've just given time for Murillo to have his Stand United available. The only thing that's going to stop him from using that into the fight is the fact that he's chunked down below 50% HP.
But as you say, that's very true. The Rift Herald would be such a good objective for Lexington to take right now, especially with how well their top lane is pushing. Dragon gets started up, they're pulling it out a bit further, and actually they're just pulling it back in they don't want to go for it.
Lexington are giving this dragon up. Look, everyone is recalling right now. I don't really see why they wouldn't have gone up to the Rift Herald. Baby King Kong can do that with the help of Dusk. This turret is going down. It's going really well for Lexington on the top half of the map. And because Heritage are so indecisive going for this dragon, there's been such a large opportunity for Lexington to either clear that entire top side of the jungle from BOB or pressure down that top lane inner turret or take the Rift Herald. Any of those options are and were available for them, but instead they just hover around and give it up, and that does nothing.
Yeah, at this point, the Rift Herald's about to leave as well, because we're about to hit this 20-minute mark where Baron
it's gone.
is now spawning. So That's gone. Rift Herald not getting picked up. Kind of surprising to see. Usually we see that quite often in the HSL and just in pro play in general. But yeah, no Rift Herald coming out there, and Lexington definitely missing out on quite an opportunity there. So second Dragon goes over to Heritage. They'll have that advantage here to Mountain Drake, so a bit more damage to those bigger objectives. And we'll see how it comes into use, but yeah. Both of these teams playing it very passively.
Yeah, I'd like to see Baby King Kong maybe go down to the bottom lane now, just shove out the top lane, go bottom, because there's nothing left from pressure on the top half map. If he goes down bottom lane, all of a sudden you can try to take that tower, but at this point, because Lexington never got that deep vision in the top part of the jungle, he can be ganked very, very easily, and this is incredibly dangerous.
Yep, and here is the gank, as you were saying, getting bursted down here by two members of the enemy team. Flashed in by Pew Pew Pew. Mariello using his as well. Finishes off that kill.
And you cannot push like that unless you don't know where Pew 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 is, or you don't have the rest of your team making a proactive play in the bottom lane. You know, it would have been very easy for Lexington to force down that outer turret in the bottom lane after seeing multiple members of Heritage up top lane, but they don't have a minion wave ready. Mid lane too, they're not pressuring, they're not making any calls in this game, and that's where they're really sort of faltering, because they had a huge advantage in the top lane, even down bottom lane where they were losing in CS. Now as even Proiskin was able to win out in that 2 versus 2, but the lack of action is allowing Heritage to not have to worry about Murillo being down in CS, about being bopped in this lane, because now as a product of the small skirmishes that have arisen, he's 3-0-4. He's getting tanky. He's at the point his team needs him to be at to succeed.
Yeah, it seems like Heritage High School maybe just be slowly creeping back into this game after just having a few early disadvantages here, but I think so far, I mean, they're going to be looking good for it. Like, Jast is still doing very well in this middle lane right here with the CS lead. Huge CS advantage still. And at this point, Mariello, I mean, he is down by a lot of CS, but he's making it up in kills and assists right now, and we're going to be seeing how the rest of it plays out, but it's 22 minutes in here, and the gold is pretty much even, just slightly in favor of Heritage, but doesn't mean too much at this point.
Now the 1v1 that I don't know how it's going to go down is the Zed versus the Kennen. Now, Baby King Kong doesn't have the ultimate, and that could be a big concern. And, you know, if he gets poked out, when he reaches that maybe 60% HP threshold, that's when Jas can immediately go for the all-in. But, you know, if Baby King Kong can maintain control of this lane, that's where he's going to win. But if he's getting shoved in, all of a sudden this 213
Oh man, he's already going in under the turret. Jas catching up, finishes him off under it, and what a burst. As you say, 60% to 0.
The question was just immediately answered. He can do it under the turret. It doesn't really matter. And that does so much for Heritage. The Kennen means nothing anymore. That split push has been completely
Law looking to turn around into DJ Holiday, but may find himself in a world of trouble here. Shadow Dash from Mariello as he comes in. Stunned on the side is Proiskin running right into that enchanted Cristolero into the dusk. He's going to have to get away here as well. 3 members of Lexington down.
Yeah, Lexington had 2 members approaching from the bottom, 2 from the to find the pick onto DJ Holiday, but when it's even numbers like that and you just split up, all of a sudden you're the ones getting picked. Lexington will die there, and unless Into the Dust can get into this pit, it's going to be a Baron.
Yep, there is the Baron in response. They were right outside of it. The hook landing, the taunt landing on Into the Dusk. DJ Holiday finishes off that kill, and that's an easy Baron take for Heritage High School. Bursting ahead into this game, bottom lane getting pushed in by Jas as well. He just picked up 2 turrets there.
Yeah, one thing we never really mentioned, we said both teams have really good 1-3-1s, but now that Heritage have shown the ability to just completely negate the split push pressure of the Kennen, their pick potential is going to be really, really strong for them. With this Baron now, they can go completely own the jungle of Lexington, and if any members of this Lexington lineup overstep their bounds, they will be bursted immediately. A Thresh Hook, an Ash Arrow, a Zed, any of these players are going to immediately erase them. And Lexington are going to have to do so much to be able to stock up and get back into this game. The one thing they have going for them is that Heritage are basically full attack damage. They can build up some armor, but they only really have 1 tank, maybe 1.5 tanks if you count the Rakan, and it's gonna be a long time before that matters, if it ever matters, because assassins that deal physical damage if they can burst out Tay, well, now Lexington are in the same boat where they're only physical damage.
We are seeing Heritage really just jumping ahead here in this lead. And now it is going to be a bit of a 1-3-1 split push here. Jast up in this top lane, but they're trying to bait him out here into the dust, coming in with the Glacial Prison. Jast trying to back away here. Baby King Kong getting low in that duel. Meanwhile, bottom lane Mariella was trying to solo push here as well, but ends up getting completely caught out here. Charmed up here. He's trying to look for a way to escape this one. Shadow Dash coming out from him in that top lane. Jast was able to escape.
Just look at everything Lexington lost for that. They got no kills. They lost 3 of their biggest ultimates. 4. Or actually, no, just 3 of those. They might pick off Jast.
Oh, Jast trying to turn things around here. And he does! Takes down Baby King Kong.
No.
And now he's stuck in this one-on-one, but ends up running into the turret. Nowhere to run. Meanwhile, middle lane, duels coming out here. DJ Holiday inside is Mariello under the turret. Trying to chase after Tay here. Redemption coming in for the heal. Mariello will be able to survive. Gets a big chunk of his health back here. And they continue to pressure this turret.
This is all looking almost unredeemable here from Lexington. They're just getting picked left, right, and center. This Kennen that was once so strong is now sitting at 1-4-1. And when you start losing out a game with a 1-3-1 composition, all of a sudden you have no way to gain any sort of advantage. Lexington are going to be so pressed to find a single team fight victory to hold on and defend against the siege, because now Heritage have a 7,000 gold lead. They've got the Baron that will be going away soon, albeit, but 3 dragons are backing them. So even if this stalls out for another 9 minutes, that is going to be a very, very powerful Elder Dragon that Heritage should be able to easily secure.
Yeah, Heritage picking up that Cloud Drake, putting that one into the mix here as they're leading by 10 kills and just shy of, and exactly at a 6,000 gold lead here, as now they're really stacking up on things. Baron buff still active for a short time, and they will go back to that 1-3-1 split push here again, as Jast is up in that top lane, and the bottom lane is Mariello. So they have a lot of pressure going their way, continuing to have it, as that top lane turret does fall. Pushing it is Jast, and yep, this is the pressure coming out from them.
Yeah, Heritage don't have to slow down anytime soon. The only thing they need to maybe be worried about is Lexington just all-inning them in the mid lane, where they only have 3 members at the moment. But if Lexington don't make that call quickly enough, they are going to continue to lose towers in these side lanes. And as soon as that base is broken and an inhibitor goes down, that's pretty much just going to be curtains for Lexington, because they don't have the tools necessary to maintain a defense on one front while clearing away super minions coming in another lane.
The pressure is continuing to mount here. They have all 3 of their lanes pushing with this 1-3-1 setup, and just slowly trying to pressure out Lexington High School Heritage, maintaining control just over the entire map right now.
Guardian Angel picked up from Jast as well, so now he can go crazy with the wants to get really, really deep, and it's worrying to see Tay having to match against Jast. Sure, he does have the Zonia's Hourglass. That might be enough for him to survive that burst, but Tay had a terrible time in the laning phase. Jast really did take it to him, and it's only going to be a matter of time, I feel, before Heritage can get some more headway down on these turrets. The one thing I'd like to see is maybe moving DJ Holiday and DG Cano out of the mid lane towards that top lane, because that final inner turret should be relatively easy to siege. Heritage just need 1 ranged member in the Ash pick to walk that one down.
DJ Holiday just used his Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and it kind of slid by the bottom of the screen there. Looking for a pick with that. It's going to be up in quite a bit though. It's going to be up fairly soon though, so honestly should be fine. They just went back to reset. Get a few more items with all the gold they've been farming up here by shoving up these waves. They'll get right back to it, putting more pressure on the game. 1 minute 30 is left on the Baron timer to respawn here. Definitely something that Heritage High School will be looking to pick up.
Yep. just want to maintain complete vision denial. They have 3 sweepers and 3 control wards in their inventory. So fantastic tools now to dominate the vision around that Baron area. And we've said many a time in this game that Heritage have fantastic pick tools in their lineup. They can just sit, bait out the Baron, and eventually Into the Dusk and the rest of his team will come in for vision. And if they can kill that Sejuani, take away the smite, the game is so easy.
Into the Dusk gonna run right on into Jast here. And now the team wants to collapse it onto him. They're going to be able to land a hook, and there's no backup for Into the Dusk. Pew, pew, pew picks up an easy kill there.
Yep, he'll be spawning the same exact time the Baron does come onto the Rift, and that's not really going to grant him enough time to get over to the Baron and defend that. Heritage are going to continue to clear away wards inside of Lexington's own jungle and make it impossible. Make it impossible for anyone to come on through, because now that the only tank from Lexington is going to be down, you're not going to be letting this Talia face check bushes or the Zaya, not even the Rakan maybe, but it's so risky when all it takes is one hook to seal your fate.
Yeah, for sure here. So with Into the Dusk still down, we are seeing bottom lane is actually Baby King Kong pushing back here against Mirillo. Just trying to do what he can on this Kennen. As now they're turning over to the Baron, and looks like as it spawns, they want to start it up immediately here. And Lexington not in position to contest this one at all.
Yep, so easy for them to take. No one can face check. I mean, now you have Into the Dusk going into the jungle, but it's just way too late because he got picked. And for me, it all sort of goes back to Lexington's indecision around that 15 to 20 minute mark, specifically when it was that second Drake that had been spawning up, and Lexington didn't really want to use this Kennen, didn't really want to contest the Dragon, and really you have to make a decision. I think that Lexington really could have gotten so much had they taken the Rift Hill. That means the top inner turret, maybe even pressuring onto the top inhibitor at the same exact time, but because they stalled out, Heritage eventually have been allowed to scale up. Jast is a menace in the side lane, stop the Kennen from doing basically anything, and Lexington are gonna have to get a perfect team fight, it does feel like, or at least some sort of engage to take away 1 or 2 members of Heritage to try and stall out for at least the next Baron that they're gonna get.
Lexington maybe trying to lay a trap here in their own jungle. Going to be sitting in this one brush right now, but it's once again the pressure coming out from Heritage High School now with their second Baron of the game. Pushing it up here, and DJ Kano actually maybe taking that bit of a bait here, but it may just turn around here as the collapse comes in from Heritage. A team fight, a double kill for Jast there. The ultimate comes out from Proiskin, but there's not too much they can do at this point. They've already lost 2 members, and Jast is over the wall for that triple kill. Jumping in is pew pew pew. Proiskin's going down. Quadra kill for Jast. Just obliterating the members of Lexington High School.
It's all up to Baby King Kong now. He still has the ultimate. He canceled his TP. He was nowhere in that fight. In Heritage, they've got some pretty long death timers that they're going up against. They might be able to just push this one down and go for the win.
Absolutely the end of the game here at Heritage High School. They've got the push going for them here. Baby King Kong trying to go in. They all get over the slicing maelstrom. Jast turning back in here. Baby King Kong actually does take down DJ Kano. Law is up here as well, but still a 4-man push onto this Nexus. Nexus is exposed. This is it. Heritage High School come away with the 1-0 win 33 minutes in.
Very good job from Heritage to play their composition where it mattered. Absolutely dominating some good engages, using the Stand United to keep Murillo relevant in that game. And ultimately, Jast was an absolute beast. No one from Lexington could stop that guy.
Dominating performance coming out there when it got into it. Heritage High School picking up that win in a very well played game coming out from them. So we're going to take a quick break before getting on into game number 2 of the best of 3 between Lexington High School and Heritage High School. Heritage up 1-0 here at the high school Select, brought to you by Twitch. We'll be right back after a quick break.